Hello and welcome back to Revamp Design. This is Jess Brown and I'm going to show you another email critique. Let's dive right into it. So for the subject line for this email, we can see it's just your electronic receipt. It's very utilitarian, very obvious as far as what the email is going to be about. And so I think it's effective. I'm going to give it a score of 4 out of 5 just because I think there may be some way to either make this a little bit more intriguing or creative, but honestly, it still is pretty effective. It tells me exactly what I should expect and what will be found inside the email when I open it. So great job. All right, so right off the bat, the value of this email is going to be a 5 out of 5. It's exactly what I wanted. I needed the receipt, and it gives me all the information that would be on a normal receipt, and it even looks like a receipt. So it's very easy for me to understand exactly what this is about, and there you are. So I don't think there's really anything in this email that detracts from the value that its purpose is for. All right, so hierarchy is next, and I'm going to give it a score of 3 out of 5. And this is because it is a little bit of a busy email. Granted, this kind of email is probably not one that's going to be opened a lot or read through a lot. So there's that as being a justification for something like this. But generally, the perspective from the users is that the email is busy and hard to focus on or read. So there is that. There's a lot of things going on in this sidebar that are very distracting, and it also competes with this huge logo at the top of the receipt. So we kind of have this oscillation between, oh, let's look at this column, oh, let's look at this because it's got this big orange box. And so there's a lot of things vying for my attention, and that makes it a little bit difficult for me to just kind of digest and go straight to what I need first and then move on to these other secondary actions. So really, there are some hierarchy issues as far as competition between what is it that the business really wants to help the customer achieve by sending them this email. So I would just say that to improve the hierarchy here, we would just want a little bit more focus, a little bit easier time getting straight into the meat of the email, which is really the receipt. And however, definitely don't do away with any of these. I think this is a great way, and we'll actually cover that on our next section, the CTAs. For this email, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 for the calls to action, and that may not be generous enough. However, I think there are some tweaks that we can make to make this really stand out as far as the calls to action go. First of all, we have a couple of different types of calls to action. We have this navigation bar right at the top, and I don't have strong feelings that that's a good idea, but I would have to look at data to be able to say yes or no to that kind of an option, just because it's a little bit distracting and it's not typically what we need in an email. However, I do think that there could definitely be benefits, especially if data backs us up, that this is a good way to get more out of your email than just providing a receipt. It allows the customer to go back to your website and look at some more things that they may be interested in, or maybe they missed as they are looking at the receipt and realized, oh, we needed actually to get this other thing for appliances or whatever. So that's a nice way to ease back into the website and perhaps drive more sales. So that one I'm kind of ambivalent on, and is not necessarily the reason I'm taking off a point for the calls to action. The second set of calls to action is definitely in this sidebar here. We've got things like discounts and special offers and even this little survey. I think that is a good use of the space, and I think that's a good use of calls to action with this specific type of email, since like I said, it's a receipt email, so there's really nothing that I'm going to be expecting to have to do or like an action that I should be expecting to take. I think that's a good way to capitalize on that opportunity. So another call to action that you see here is this one up here, this kind of a banner type of call to action. And I'm not completely sure what this means. I'm not sure if I have to sign up in order to see a history of my transactions, see all the receipts that I've purchased, or I'm not entirely sure what this does. And so it's just it's there, and I think that people may explore it, and again, I would have to see the data to see if this is actually worth the extra space and kind of adding to the confusion of all the things that are competing for my attention. And the last section is urgency and relevancy. Obviously, this is relevant to me because it's my receipt, and it was urgent because it was emailed to me immediately after I made the purchase. So I would give it a 5 out of 5. This is perfectly relevant and urgent to me. And even these things, these extra calls to action are also relevant to me since I've gone in and made a purchase, and these all are pretty they're generic, but they definitely could be applicable to me as the user in this specific instance. So that brings us to a total score of 21 out of 25 for this email. So great job. If you're interested in getting consultation about your email strategy or your designs, feel free to drop me a line at jess@revamp-design.com, and I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks so much.